Hi dear friends, welcome back to Aksharadhara ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಅಕ್ಷರಧಾರ ಚಾನಲ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. So I hope you guys are enjoying the learning, also earning great. Today is 26th October 2023. So almost we are in the end of the month, just only 5 days left. So I hope you guys are following the tips which I have given in the previous videos and hopes that tips were very useful. And before going to start today newspaper reading, I would request you guys to please subscribe the channel, like and comment, and watch the video till the end, and you will get to know what are the new updates about the opportunities. Yes, let's start reading the newspaper, today newspaper, and see what's in today news. The Hindu, which is very important for the point of examination, and start reading. Rahul interviews J&K ex-governor Satyapal. Shivraj Kamal prepare for a crucial fight. Solar Alliance to post first stock take report. The legality of using white phosphorus party should adhere to humanitarian law. Maxwell won a star in Australia's huge win. Israel steps up attack Gaza need water fuel. STF to look into planes about people having wildlife artifact. A month on, India partially resumes visas for Canadians. Decision restricted to visas for entry, business, medical, and conference purposes. Let Ramanagara district be renamed Bangalore South. Traffic signal tech likely to be launched by December. NCERT panel suggests only Bharat in textbooks. Branding exercise without fixing basic problems of city will be futile. CAF. State of the art traffic signal technology likely to be launched in city by December. National Cybersecurity Center of Excellence set up at SJBIT. Traffic regulations on Cricket World Cup match days. Tiger Claws, Forest Department raids houses of Darshan, Jagesh, and Nikhil. Officials search for tiger claw pendants. They were photographed wearing at different points of time. Ashram of Vinay Guruji also searched. Vatu Santosh bought a tiger claws 3 years ago. A senior forest department officer said they had secured enough details from the accused to track down the trading trail of the claws. Wall painter arrested for growing ganja plant too. Police unearthed a prenatal sex determination racket 4 held. Activists write to Home Minister to take more steps to implement a ban on non-green firecrackers. Researchers unveil biochemistry behind the silence of a dengue mosquito eggs. The research was a collaboration of IIT Mandi and the DBT in STEM, Bangalore. Kurubarali Venkatarama Reddy Harvin sworn in as additional judge of Karnataka HC. DKS. Let Ramanagara district be renamed Bangalore South. Ramanagara district comprising Chennapatna, Ramanagara, Kanakapura and Magadi taluks was carved out of Bangalore rural district in 2007 when Kumaraswamy was the chief minister. I am unaware, says CM. HSRP for old vehicles. SC keeps harder in abeyance for government to hold talks with the stakeholders. Sumalatha appointed to IPU panel on countering terrorism. BJP JDS seat sharing talks may wait till polls to five state assemblies. A power shortage in state is a legacy of BJP Siddaramaya. Farmers to get 6 hours of power from today. Pressure on HDD to contest from Asan. No more a back-end office. More French companies looking at India as innovation hub. With the recent successes of ISRO, more startups in the aerospace sector from France are looking at India as a potential market. The says Saudi 10 Piche, co-chair at La French Tech India. The role of urban agriculture for sustainable cities. Asan probe report soon. Of King Korean culture and spooks. Check out the musical vibes the city has to offer this Halloween weekend. Cakes are for Halloween. Straight from the farm. Abundance of kids. Defiant beauties. The Rajgopal Reddy quits BJP, joins the Congress and vows to fight KCR. The former MLA who will join Congress in New Delhi in the presence of Rahul Gandhi says he has decided to leave the BJP as the party is not serious about taking on the BRS government that is increasingly getting unpopular in Telangana. The Bharatiya Janata Party offered me ticket for Manu Gode and LB Nagar, but I asked them not to announce the name. Kumar Reddy formers to file nominations against KCR. Naidu's wife launches a Nijam Gelavali Yatra. Today, Kate Kutha conclave in Shigam from October 28th. Two Kannada writers have been guiding aspiring writers through a WhatsApp group titled Kate Kutha. Story Community are a group for the last 7 years. Accused in death of two minor sisters in Walayar found it. Kerala police book online movie reviewers social media platforms. Three dead during a Bunny festival in AP, while two persons died when a branch of a tree fell on them. Another died due to suffocation. IS research uncovers link between cell biomechanics and wound healing. Other Kartik racket. BJP leader seeks probe. Women, marriage, and labor market participation. Let's read this editorial page written by the assistant professor. Women's labor market participation is often concomitant with enhanced economic prospects and better household decision making power. From a microeconomic standpoint, a diminished level of women's labor force participation rate has significant consequences for women's intra and inter household bargaining power, as well as the overall economic progress of the nation. There are still large differences between women and men in terms of what they do, how they are remunerated, and so on, said Claudia Goldin, who was awarded this year's Economic Nobel for having advanced our understanding of women's labor market outcomes. Goldin's comprehensive analysis of the economic history of women has presented new insights into the many aspects of gender disparities in the labor market. Additionally, her research has shown the underlying factors that have contributed to these gaps throughout history and the persisting inequalities that exist in contemporary times. Data shows a low labor participation. Globally, however, the level of female labor force participation remains relatively low. World Bank estimates have showed that the worldwide LFER for women was 47.3% in 2022, despite the remarkable advancements observed in the local economies. There has been a persistent decline in the labor force participation rate of women in developing nations. The estimations also indicate that the female labor force participation in India between 1992 and 2022 has decreased from 28% to 24%. This fall has impeded their growth and hindered their ability to achieve their maximum capabilities. A significant disparity in labor market participation based on gender continues to persist worldwide. Economist Goldin highlights this as the LFPR of adult women exhibits a U-shaped pattern during the course of economic growth. Further, she added that the initial decline in the participation rate is due to the movement of production from the household, family farm, and small business to the wider market. and to a strong income effect. But the income effect weakens and the substitution effect strengthens at some point. The issues made considerably dire women, married women express a desire to participate in the labor market. After marriage, there is a tendency for women's LPR to decrease due to many variables. These factors encompass women's limited educational attainment, less mobility as a result of increasing family obligations, and societal disapproval associated with women in employment outside the domestic sphere. The institution of marriage amplifies domestic obligations for women while concurrently imposing many social and cultural impediments that affect their participation in the workforce. Multiple factors contributed to the diminished labor force involvement of married women and their proclivity to exit the labor field after marriage. The labor market entry of women is influenced by a range of individual and societal factors, perhaps impacting married women to a greater extent than their unmarried counterparts. Several variables contribute to limited labor participation for women, such as their religious and caste affiliations, geographical location, the wealth of their household, and prevailing societal norms surrounding women's employment outside the house. Other challenges: when women decided to resume their professional careers upon marriage, they tended to exhibit a preference for some employment opportunities that offer enhanced flexibility and are situated in close proximity to their residences. Women also encounter gender asymmetrical professional costs as a result of several societal constraints, resulting in gender disparities in premarital career selections, income inequality, age at marriage, and decisions and about fertility decisions. It has been observed that women of the upper strata tend to adhere to stringent societal standards by predominantly assuming domestic roles. Conversely, women from the lower strata are more inclined to engage in the labor market, primarily driven by economic constraints that stem from poverty. When analyzing of the female labor force participation rate based on the usual principal status and usual principal and subsidiary status categories in India's NSSO periodic labor force survey, it becomes apparent that married women show a considerably lower employment proportion under the IUPS status when compared to the IUPSS status. The data show that marriage significantly influences women's labor market outcomes. In 2022 to 23, there has been a notable decrease of 5% in the female labor force participation rate among married women aged 25 to 49 years, with a decline from 50% in 2004 to 5 to 45% in 2022 to 23. The decline in the female labor force participation rate is primarily concentrated with the age group of 25 to 29. Further, married women exhibit lower levels of labor force participation when compared to their unmarried counterparts. The examination of the influence of educational achievement on the rate of married women's involvement in the labor force shows that women lacking at literacy skills demonstrate a greater inclination to participate in the labor force after getting married, as opposed to their well educated counterparts. Empirical analysis that relates to the allocation of female labor across diverse industry sectors in India demonstrates that agriculture remains the prevailing sector in terms of female employment. Solutions to pursue. Literature on female LPO has underscored the noteworthy impact of social and cultural elements on women's choices about their entry into the labor market. This analysis primarily examines the relationship between women's and marital status and their labor market outcome in the Indian labor market. The findings indicate that married women exhibit the lowest levels of labor market participation as compared to widowed, divorced, and unmarried women. The economic impact of married women's non-participation in the workforce in India is considerable, given their substantial representation among the working age population. It is imperative to look at suitable solutions in order to promote women's empowerment in the face of high economic growth. The absence of adequate daycare services frequently acts as a disincentive for female labor force participation. Therefore, it is imperative to enhance the quality and accessibility of daycare services, crutches for employed women across various socioeconomic strata, encompassing both formal and informal sectors. The government has enacted initiatives such as the National Scheme for the children of working mothers. The implementation of such schemes is imperative in both the public and private sectors. This is particularly important in increasing the involvement of married women in the labor field. The implementation of work settings that prioritize the needs and well-being of women, the provision of secure transportation options, and the expansion of part-time job possibilities would serve as catalysts for the greater participation of women in the labor market within India. This is about the women participation in the work in labor. Unhealthy urban India must get into street fight mode. Let's read this editorial article. India's urban population is estimated to reach 675 million in 2035, the second highest in the world. Although there is widespread recognition that cities have been fueling India's rapid rise to economic superpower status, almost all are failing their inhabitants in terms of delivering on health, environmental, and equity targets. Urban India has multiple health risks. India's urban inhabitants experience multi-scalar health risks, including the world's highest levels of air and noise population, limited greenery, lack of access to sidewalks and parks that limit active lifestyles, archaic modes of transport that contribute to air pollution, pernicious access to nutritionally dense unhealthy foods, and unprecedented exposure to toxic chemicals and heavy metals. This concatenation of exposures dramatically magnifies health risks for heart disease and diabetes, referred to as cardiometabolic disease, especially when combined with a lack of physical activity. Of all behaviors well known to mitigate the development of cardiometabolic disease, physical activity is by far the most effective deterrent. Not surprisingly, that the cities of India are amidst an epidemic of historic proportions in these disorders. Addressing the diverse and multi-scaled social, environmental, and infrastructure risk factors that contribute to a cardiometabolic risk in cities by transforming the design of the built local environment as well as provisioning systems represents a new paradigm for public health. Globally, there are seven key physical provisioning systems that provide food, energy, mobility, transportation, housing, green infrastructure, water, and waste management, and that lie at the core of human health, well-being, equity, and sustainability. These functional provisioning systems consume more than 90% of the world's water and global CO2 emissions and facilitate an estimated 19 million premature deaths annually. The socio-spatial political design of urban provisioning systems in India, many of which are legacies of a colonial past, manifest in and exasperate exacerbates social inequalities in cities by class, race, age, migrant, and disability status, translating to vast disparities in health risks and outcomes based on the primal importance of India's cities for its future. A new narrative for improving health and well being in cities is needed. This is reflected in several high level policy frameworks, such as the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals framework, the new urban agenda, and the health in all policies approach. Double or triple duty actions. Investments such as clean energy and electric mobility, which are underway in India, offer a once in a lifetime opportunity to improve health through their immediate and dramatic impact of air pollution levels, while also helping meet India's climate and equity goals. While these developments are extraordinarily important, the magnitude of their impact on health outcomes is at risk of being limited. if not simultaneously accompanied by changes in other provisioning systems such as food, mobility, and green infrastructure. Indeed, the study showed that even small changes in the latter systems may have a large catalytic effect on health and productivity and serve as double duty or triple duty interventions. For example, making way for safe walking and biking lanes, pavements, and no car zones can help not only improve physical activity and reduce sedentary lifestyles but also reduce the risk from air pollution. Regular physical exercise has been to effectively mitigate the impact of other risk factors such as poor diets, particularly those rich in calories and saturated fats. The dietary ingestion of excess calories without adequate physical expenditure we fuels a vicious life cycle of insulin spikes. Excess fat deposition that together with inflammation sets the stage for heart disease. In this regard, it is well known that exercise may not only help expand excess calories, promoting weight loss and reducing diabetes risk, but also act as an effective bulwark against heart disease. Walking and biking on many Indian roads he is not only hazardous but also nearly impossible as sidewalks are overwhelmed by building and human waste. Pocket vehicles are street via hawkers. Health impact studies indicate that the health and economic benefits of increasing mobility and active transportation vastly exceed that which may be derived by transitioning to electrifying transportation alone. Towards holistic urban policy studies that have modeled the economic and health impact of the clean energy transition in the transportation sector are currently based almost entirely on the reduction in air pollution and its associated health impact, ensuring that the transition to electric cars also paves the way for active transport options such as walking paths and bicycling lanes may not only provide a mechanism to connect the last mile but the health and consequent economic benefits of active transportation accrue on top of the benefits of reducing air pollution, making such investments even more economically viable. Thus, increasing active transportation by any means must be a critical component of a clean energy policy. Similarly, policies that encourage fresh fruits and vegetables and limit sugars and salt in beverages, which may have the largest impact on health outcomes such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease, may help contribute to not only better health outcomes but also economic productivity. Urban policies are powerful public health interventions that can serve to promote population health. Health is unfortunately an afterthought in the most national urban planning policies and mostly non existent in national urban policy documents from lower and middle income countries. Unhealthy diets, a reduced physical activity, and air pollution in cities in India pose a greater risk to morbidity and mortality than most other risk factors combined, including drugs, tobacco, alcohol, and accidents. These needs to be dealt with on a war footing if India is going to make progress in its fight against cardiovascular disease, obesity, and T2D. This will necessarily entail a street fight. This is about the street fight mode, unhealthy. This is about the health. Warming ties. India must understand Bhutan's reasoning in Thimphu's talks with China. Unhealthy urban India must get into street fight mode. Balancing act. A change is in the offing in Poland, but challenges remain. Let's go to the next page. The legality of using white prosperous. The issues in navigating Bengaluru. The new metro line has helped, but more needs to be done to decongest the city. Israel has an iron grip over Gaza and West Bank's economy. Over half the imports of the Palestinian territories are from Israel, and over 80% of all exports go to Israel, India, and Bangladesh to review process of repatriation. Rahul interviews Satyapal Malik, ask him about Pulwama, Adani. Former J&K governor reiterates claim that Modi government erred by not providing five artifacts aircraft to transport the CRPF Jawans. He calls for restoration of statehood for J&K. Raul asks if his conversation with Mali could increase the workload of CBI ED. Man beaten to death by mob in Hapur district of UP. India partial resumes visas for Canadians. NCRT panel suggests Bharat in textbooks. Crushed by inflation, people taking loans to make ends meet. Congress. SC quashes death penalty over hurried trial of accused. Time has come for India to declare Hamas as a terrorist group, Israel ambassador. New Zealand latest to play India an order for expulsion of 41 Canadian diplomats. News click found a child and sent to police custody. BJP urges EC to take legal action against Priyanka. All bets are off in Madhya Pradesh fight. The election is said to be the closest in the state's recent electoral history, with both the BJP and the Congress hoping to get all their moves right. While the Congress presents a united front, the BJP has fielded a galaxy of veterans, but CM Chauhan continues to be at the center of the narrative. Plant a promise and harvest a field of questions. Aided by protests within Congress replaces four more candidates in MP. BJP completes Chhattisgarh nominations with new faces. Congress state units will decide seat sharing with others. Kargi. ISC to release a report on global adoption of solar technology in November. Stock Take will also look at ways to broaden the manufacturing of solar energy equipment, which is currently concentrated in China. The International Solar Alliance will meet in Delhi this month. Plaques in Santiniketan are temporary, says Vishwabharati. Center approves 22,303 crore subsidy on key fertilizers. Man allegedly beaten to death over Garbha contest in Gujarat. Medical college rejects a report of botched blood transfusions. Modi to attend the inauguration of Ram Temple in Ayodhya scheduled for January 22. In the first, army gets a vertical and wind tunnel to train special forces. Simultaneous polls, Allah Commission stage strategy. Sweet words. Russia's Shoigu says Moscow is exhausting Ukrainian army. Iran bans 12 actors from working in movies over hijab violations. Poland's Tusk meets Vander Leyen vows to rebuild EU ties. Chinese research vessel arrives in the Colombo port for replenishment. Palestinian death toll in West Bank crosses 100. World leaders seek a pause to fighting to allow aid into Gaza. Lebanon's Hezbollah holds talks with leaders of Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Republican sends weeks of gridlock as US House elects a new speaker. Hong Kong will have own national security law in 2024. Japan's top court rules in favor of transgender people. Pulses to Burke rise in Kharif output. Production of pulses, some coarse cereals and groundnut expected to hit a 3-year low as per initial independent crop estimates. Rice cereals seen bowing overall output by 1.5% to 4% this season. Retail inflation in pulses seen staying elevated. GMR to lift Hyderabad airport stake via 100 million NAMA BHP deal. RBI asks private banks to have at least two all-time directors. Axis Bank Q to PAT up 10% to 5,864 crore on falling NPAs. Tech Mahindra Net slams 61% as demand rise up. Coca-Cola Butler SLMG shocks out 200 million capex plan. Shanti Gas Q2 net profit rises 26.6% to 21 crore. Maxwell breaks Mark Ram's mark, scores passes to World Cup 100. Warner Vortex punting for most WC centuries by an Australian. Maxwell hit us to all corners of the ground, says the Dutch coach. Adik may miss more matches, continues his recovery at Hansi. Maxwell puts on a big show, rips the Netherlands apart. Won as a sixth hundred in the World Cup, sets the tone for a massive total of 399 before the Aussies blew away the men in orange to secure a victory by a record margin. Jampa registers a third four par on the trot. Expensive deal lead a as a pocketable day. Vibrant opening salvos have set the tone for India's stellar batting shows. England faces Sri Lanka in a must-win game for both. The teams have lost three of their four matches and will look to climb up the ladder. Butler's men come into contest after the big loss against South Africa, while the Islanders tasted success versus Netherlands in their last outing. You have to fight fire with fire, says Matthews on Sri Lanka's England clash. The secret behind the clash since carnage in the death wars. Pakistan facing survival threat and needs its spinners to step up. Mujumdar is the head coach of women's team. Until and Gurjar win javelin golds with WR efforts. BFC and FC Goa play out a goalless draw. Though the visiting team dropped its first points of the season, it still remains on top of the table. Grayson's men's are in the ninth spot. Kush Mainie's F1 dream gets a shot in the arm. Classy Jesus Trias Arsenal post Sevilla United wins. Quinton de Kock converts his farewell into a fairy tale. The South African opener has hammered three centuries against Sri Lanka, Australia, and Bangladesh in the 2023 edition of the World Cup and it sits at the top of the chart with 407 runs in five innings. The Chennai crowd comes alive as it laps up a fierce rivalry. The Gino data manipulation allegations in behavioral sciences. Recent allegations of fraud against a prominent behavioral science research at Harvard University have sparked many questions about why scientists commit misconduct, the structural forces that encourage it, and the pros and cons of solutions that have emerged over the years. Deep under Antarctic ice and an ancient landscape. On this day in 1977, the world has had its lost case of smallpox. IDB loan to support a government urban reform agenda. A number of Palestinians are internally displaced in Gaza. Tax demanded by India from online gaming firms. Amount Karnataka government sought for drought relief. Investor wealth wiped half in last five trading sessions. How big is the gender gap in earnings? What are the main findings regarding the earning gap between men and women across the different forms of employment in 2023? How might policies and interventions address the disparities in work hours and employment patterns between men and women in India? Know your English. Across the river Falgu to Gaya and Bodh Gaya, a tapestry of spirituality and beauty. If guys are about Hinduism with its legend of Rama and Sita and the world famous Vishnu Pad Mandir, Bodh Gaya, about 15 kilometers away, is the center of Buddhism with its famous Mahabodhi temple and the Bodhi tree under which the Buddha attained man's enlightenment, under which Buddha attained enlightenment. The Buddha attained enlightenment. A quiz on the legendary Indian cricketer Bishan Singh Bedi who passed away recently. Know your English. Indian cultures has a rich heritage. This is about the today's news, guys. Read this lost text and context page. It will be very little important for the point of the current events. I hope you guys have enjoyed the newspaper reading. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe the channel, like and comment. If you like the video, please share with your friends. It may be useful for somebody to utilize the opportunities from Aksar Authority. And once again, I'm repeating you, please subscribe the channel, like and comment. And see you in the upcoming videos, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.